We're looking at the issue of power supply in Nigeria, starting from our immediate environs, Abuja. The duties and responsibilities of the service providers, and if they have met or are meeting the needs of the consumers with regards to their rights. Electricity distribution and consumption has been a lingering issue in our country for decades, as is evident in the agitations of many consumers through various media. Recently, there have been clamors for the regulatory bodies to explain in details some of their operations, especially with regards to consumers' rights and the billing system. Some consumers complain about paying for services they do not receive, while others complain about inconsistencies in the billing system. Well, today on this episode of Prosumer Forum, we will highlight what the rights of the consumer are and the responsibilities of service providers to their consumers in service delivery. My name is Ruth. Thank you for joining us once again right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1. With me in the studio is an AEDC representative who will take questions, of course, from the callers as you're listening. In time, we'll open up the phone lines so you can direct your questions to him. I have here in the studio Mr. Oyebode Fadipe. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon, listeners.
All right. He is Head Corporate Communications, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC. So as earlier mentioned, there are so many concerns from Nigerians, from the consumers, from those who are either benefiting or not being able to benefit as much. As one of the concerns is that some people still complain that they are paying for services that they are not exactly benefiting from.
Do you want me to react to the complaint?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think it's both ways. We, from the distribution side, or as Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, we also say that customers are also not paying for the services that have been rendered. But coming from the customer side, it can be both right and wrong. Oftentimes, you find customers receiving bills for services already rendered, but they are very reluctant to pay. We also have situations where, for one reason or the other, a customer receives a bill for a service that has not been rendered. And I'll give you a typical scenario. The transformer in a particular area is not working for about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, as the case may be, 1 month, or even beyond that in some instances. The customer has not taken it upon himself to walk up to the next AEDC office that is close to him. There is no way I want to know that there is a fault there, unless maybe during routine patrol, during routine maintenance, and I found out that my transformer in location A is not working. My responsibility when the customer comes to complain is to make sure that the customer is not billed for that month. But what you find out most of the time is that, particularly for customers who are on the postpaid platform, the bill that they receive in the month that the transformer did not work is actually the bill for the previous month. So that by the time the next bill is going to come, the transformer will probably have been put right. But the point I'm trying to make is that when your transformer goes bad, or when you experience a loss of power supply in your area, take it upon yourself to go to the AEDC office close to you to make your complaint formally. Or if you cannot go for one reason or the other, the AEDC office is not close to you, or you are tied up with so many other issues, then pick up your phone. I think the phone is about the commonest property that virtually everyone owns in this country now. Pick up your phone and put a call through to our customer care lines. You would have, by so doing, one, give your name, give your address, give your telephone number, give your meter number, give your account number, so that all of this information that you have given will enable us now trace you to the nearest location where you are, and then get more details about the fault that you have reported and clear the fault. So it is both ways. There are situations where the customer does not really get the service, and I've explained the reason why. But in the process, if you don't complain, there is no way I want to know. I mean, it's almost like you sitting there in your house and expecting the doctor to know that you are sick at home.
Yeah. So how accessible is this customer care line?
It is a 24/7 line.
Okay, I think it would be very important if we have, you call out the number so many.
If you allow me to call it out, I will call it out.
Go ahead.
08152 141414 or 08152 151515. Those two lines work 365 days of the year.
And we'll find a nice person that would respond. You know the situation in Nigeria.
You can prove me right or wrong on air. Just call the lines and see whether somebody will respond or not. You can prove me right.
Okay, so you're saying what usually is the problem? What usually happens to be the problem is the fact that the consumer does not reach out. They don't get to complain and tell you, okay, this is where we have problems, and
we have more of those instances of not disclosing that we have a problem in our locality. There are also situations where the customer has given information and the response time is not as quick as the customer expects it to be. But I'm saying that let's not push the entire 100% to the disco. Let's also understand that there is a responsibility that is bestowed upon the customer to bring information.
Okay, so are you saying that on the part of the AEDC right now there has been proper dissemination of information as to how to go about these things?
I think to a very large extent, and I dare say this, I mean, thank God for the opportunity of Brekete. I think one of the most, widely listened to station or magazine program in the FCT today is Brekete family program. And we are on that program. That's one. At the slightest opportunity that we have, we make this number available to, these numbers available to customers. We have jingles out there broadcasting, telling people about the number. People can also go to our Facebook, website to go and see these things. I think one thing we need to understand now is that the world is becoming technologically advanced. People cannot continue to sit down in their homes.
But are we catching up to it?
No. The issue is not whether we are catching up to it or not. The facilities are there. If the facilities are there, it's just like schools are there and you are not applying for admission. Who would you blame? Is it the school that is there or the person that is not applying for admission? We cannot continue to do things like the way it was done yesterday and expect that we will get the benefits of today. It's not possible. If we have made it known to virtually all our customers that we are on all these social media platforms, we have a website address, and the world is technologically savvy now, and we are on radio shows to say that this is the number you can call, and customers are not calling it. I know that even if you go from house to house to say this is the number you have to call, people will still not use it. So we need to, one way or the other, get them to understand that it is a process of using that number or those numbers.
Speaking about having the facilities available, we've had instances where people go to some offices of AEDC, and I think a colleague mentioned something not long ago. She needed to purchase more, what will I call it,
electricity token.
Yeah, and for it to be printed, there was no light, there was no power in that office at the time. They had to use the generating set.
It is deliberate, and I will not shy away from saying that we use generating set. Why? Because we also need to attend to the customer. Because I will find it quite ridiculous that you as a service provider will not put every facility in place to make sure that I am satisfied. One of our slogans in AEDC is to make our customers happy. Look, for God's sake, everything we need to provide to make the customer happy, we will provide it. So for us, putting a generating set there is not because we don't have respect for our own product. It's because the customer is number one, 24/7. If he comes there and he wants to buy credit and we say there is no power supply, it's an insult on the customer's integrity. So for us, that generator there is not for pleasure. If the customer are taking pains to go around, the customer will see that that generator is not serving any other place except the paying point. It's not for pleasure. It's not for offices. It's just to make sure that once the customer comes, he doesn't spend more time than necessary.
Interesting. Well, I was just wondering why the lights will be out in the first place, really. That's
Let's not pretend about it, my sister. We cannot continue to pretend that power supply is inadequate in this country. The fact that it is not there is not 100% the fault of AEDC. Because from generating point up to transmission point and coming to distribution, there are issues along the line. So to say that, oh, the power is not there, therefore AEDC should shut down. No, it doesn't work that way. AEDC is not a generating company. If anything, we are a distributing company, and we are the last leg of the value chain. If there is no power from generator and there is no transmission to wield the energy, there is nothing we want to do about it. So there is nothing to be ashamed of in this circumstance. It is a thing that is all over the country. It is not a problem unique to AEDC. But it is not as if we are proud of that situation. Okay. And that is why at all times we endeavor to make sure that as much energy that is given to us, we also push it out to the customers so that they can enjoy the electricity for as long as it is available.
There's also the issue of sometimes, the customers not really being issued with the electricity bills that are strictly based on NERC's estimated billing methodology. Sometimes we feel like, okay, what you're billing me is not maybe what I consumed, or I did not even consume it at all.
You see, let me be a little bit legalistic now. The one in law, they say that whoever is making an allegation has a responsibility to prove it. If a customer is standing up to say, look, AEDC, you are not billing me, you are not giving me estimated billing in accordance with the estimation methodology prescribed by NEC. Let the customer show that we have not done so.
Okay.
And in instances where the customer has done that, we have also accepted it and made refund. And I'll give you an example. There was a time some customers from Papi complained that, look, the estimation you have given to us is wrong. We sat down with NEC and the customers and we worked it out, and we saw very clearly that yes, the customer was right, and we refunded. So it's not estimation methodology is not rocket science, and it's not an exact science thing. It is still open to error here and there, which can be corrected. We are open to correction.
All right. So okay. There's been so many uproar, I would say, from customers, especially with the dissatisfaction and then, the failure to really provide power. That is still ongoing.
I think the question is coming from another direction again. The failure to provide power or the issue of dissatisfaction will continue to be there for a while.
Why?
We cannot run away from that. And the reason is very clear. The power available in Nigeria today is not sufficient. It's not sufficient. AEDC by the MITO calculation is entitled to 11.5 megawatts of the available generation at any point in time. The available generation in recent times has moved between, most of the time it has been on 6,000 megawatts. And that comes slightly above 600 megawatts. Because if it is 10%, then we are entitled to 600 megawatts. But our own load requirement, don't forget that we service FCT, which is one of the fastest growing city in Africa. 2, we service Kogi State, we service Nasarawa State, and we service Niger State. For these 3 states and the Federal Capital Territory, we are entitled to just 11.5 megawatts. Assuming for the purpose of this discussion that 11.5 megawatts comes to about 700 megawatts, it is still grossly insufficient for us as a company that is servicing 3 states and the FCT. We are not giving any special consideration that we are the distribution company servicing the Federal Capital Territory of a nation that is the largest black nation in the world, where you call investment destination, and people come here all the time, which is supposed to be one of the major attractions. But we are not giving that special consideration. We are still giving the MITO allocation, and it is still within this MITO framework that we also service the customers. We cannot do more than what we have been given the power to do. It is what we have that will give.
Well then, it is Prosumer Forum right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1. If you're just joining in, we're taking a look at issues surrounding AEDC, power supply, and so many other dissatisfactions that you may be experiencing currently. And right about now, I think it will be wise to just allow the listener to talk to you. So call us up on 081-8999-1011. That is 081-8999-1011. Okay, I have been speaking with Mr. Oyebode Fadipe. He is Head Corporate Communications, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company. Let's see who our first caller is. Please stay away from your radio.
Hello?
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 Okay,
Hello?
you are in a very noisy place. Hello?
Yeah, hear me now?
Please, I think you need to move away and then call back. That is quite noisy. Please, maybe you need to move away and you call us right back if you want to maybe lay a complaint. Hello?
Hello?
You need
Hello?
to turn off your radio.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. What's your name?
I'm Joel. I'm calling from Central area, Abuja here.
All right, Joel. We're listening.
I was overhearing the weather is NEPA 18 or something like that. No, sir, he's saying something that sometimes it is the fault of the consumer that they are not able to come to NEPA to to complain. Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
It is the technology. The new every houses that they don't pay light, and the new every house that paid. Why is it that is it necessary for a consumer to report? Is it that they don't know whether the transformer has fault for some time, like 1 or 2 weeks? If a transformer has fault, they should have dictated it. Just like the way they know almost every houses that they don't pay light, they disconnected light. If you don't pay, they know the house, they went and disconnect light. But if transformer has problem, they expect a consumer to come and notice them. Why won't they notice that if it is technology?
Okay.
Are you getting my point?
All right.
So let him know from now that they can also dictate those faults from the transformer from their offices.
Okay. Thank you. So there should be technology that should take notes for when something is wrong in an area. Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon. Welcome to Prosumer Forum.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. What's your name?
My name is Abdurrahman from Tiwe.
Okay. Go ahead, Abdurrahman.
The problem that we are having with AEDC in Tiwe. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
From where?
There are sometimes other people from other streets of Tiwe, they will have problem with this.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that. We lost the connection. Feel free to call back. He is complaining all the way from Puri, so I hope he gets to call back. Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. Who am I speaking with?
You are speaking with Ibrahim Good Market.
Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Okay. Ibrahim, go ahead.
Okay, this is on a number where when I give. That number is not working. Let me tell you the truth. That one a number where when I give is not working. I keep call these two numbers when you talk.
just when I eat my money like that. This number is 081 52 151515. The second number 081 52 1414. Is no watching. Or then when I go back.
You called and no one responded?
It's not responded.
But it rang, it connected.
Madam, I pray it's not connected, but it's no response.
Okay.
Yes, just when you tell me the truth.
Oh.
I get my complaint. This Nasarawa state, thank God where when I get here today. This Nasarawa state where when I get up. Look, enter Maraba, enter Ado, enter Masaka, no light here. Cheki is not like this. Never when I watch it, never when I return. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We'll be going on a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Human Rights Radio.
Welcome, my dear friends.
Human Rights Radio. Your 100% effort is not good enough.
You know.
Give me 101.1 effort.
Radio, right, radio. An samu ta dan tsare 'yancin al'umma. Al'ummar ƙasa ta Najeriya. 101.1 ai saurariyo.
My name is Femi Adeshino. I'm the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. I'm proud to identify with Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. I'm glad that this station has come up at a time like this under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, a man that respects the human right of every Nigerian. Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
As a business owner, you may be asking yourself for reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. Well, I will give you 5. 1. We operate a 24-hour Facebook TV that accommodates all our shows, and with 50,000 views per show. 2. All around the world, millions of people tune into our station live on our Human Rights Radio app, available on Android and iOS. 3. We are employing over 2,000 conversers ready to attend to all your advertising needs. 4. With our very affordable rates, you are guaranteed the best value for your money. 5. We go beyond radio and can be found on all other social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope, proving that while other stations enjoy listenership, we enjoy followership. The question shouldn't be reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. The real question is reasons why you haven't. Welcome to Nigeria's first magazine radio, Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back. It's still Projima Forum right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1. On this program, as always, we give the producers of services and consumers the opportunity to interact with each other. And today we are interacting with, well, I want to call them producers, the producers of power. We're speaking with AEDC here in Abuja, of course, and you get the chance, the opportunity to also interact with the AEDC representative, Mr. Oyebode Fadipe. He is the head corporate communications Abuja Electricity Distribution Company so far. We've had a couple of calls come in, people laying their thoughts, their concerns, or dissatisfaction as to services being provided by the AEDC. So feel free to call in if you have any concerns. I'm sure he'll do his best to respond to them. 08189991011 is the number to call. That is 08189991011. Hello? Good afternoon. Okay, Abdurrahman from PUA is back.
The problem that we have, some fight in the other side of the system.
Your connection is hello? Okay. Abdurrahman, hello? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, hello?
I can hear you.
Can you start all over? Your connection is really not clear. So
let me go. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, it sounds better.
Yeah.
So
I said that whenever, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I said that whenever some people that refuse to pay their bill have issue with AEDC people. Instead of the AEDC people to deal with those people where they are doing their disconnection, what they normally do, they will just go straight to ShopRite where the attention came from to go and put people in darkness. Sometimes, after some days or some weeks, you will see that some people that have gone to the transformer and remove our armor cables, they will put us in darkness. I don't know that is what the AEDC people said them to come to do it, to come and do. It happened many times.
Okay. All right then, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to issues of power, 08189991011 is the number to call. Do you want to react to some of these questions?
Yes, I know that taking it from the last one, customers are usually very emotive when it comes to the issue of power, and it's understandable. Electricity is so crucial that it touches even the life of the fetus. So you can understand why when people don't have the power available to them and they have the opportunity to react, it's almost like, look, let me pour out my heart to these people. I dare say that the issue of mass disconnection is an illegal act. NEC forbids us from doing mass disconnection. What we do is that when a customer is going out of line, by which I mean that customer is not paying, or customer has violated one of the regulations, maybe in terms of bypass or theft of energy, we disconnect the customer. We ensure, or we do our best to make sure that other customers who are around are not affected. But I will always want to make this point. It cannot be 100% perfect. There are situations where more than one customer is using a service line. So what we have always advised is that each customer should have his own service line or service wire, as it were. Okay. I mean, your MTN, your telephone network is not tied to my own. If you stop and if you exhaust your credit, it does not affect me, even when we are living in the same room, even if it's husband and wife. Okay, but the same situation, we don't have a linear equation in the power sector. Most houses run on the same service line. Some of them have the same some of them have just one service wire servicing all of them. So when one customer is owing and you remove that service wire, it will necessarily affect other customers.
So how do we fix that?
Now the way to fix it is to advise customers to have their own service wire as much as it is possible, and it will not compromise safety as much as it is possible. You see, the electricity sector in Nigeria is evolving. So many things are tied to it, and one of them is our urban planning style. Okay, houses are built so closely that you can hardly separate one from the other. That's one. Two, even our communal lifestyle as Africans is also affecting the past. I mean, if I am Taye and you are Kehinde, and we're of the same parents, or we are even neighbors, we may not necessarily be of the same parents, and electricity is in your house, I used to have electricity. Maybe for one reason or the other, I cannot pay and I am disconnected. And I come to you to say, please let me take electricity from you. If you don't allow me, we will quarrel. Immediately I see you as somebody who does not understand. Is it because this person is it because you can afford your own now when I was able to afford? I mean, all of those things. But the truth of the matter is that once you cannot pay for electricity, you are not entitled to it. It may sound very harsh and very bitter, but that's just the bitter truth. And when we disconnect A, B should not extend electricity to the other person who has been disconnected. It's very harsh, but that's the bitter truth.
Is it possible for
Yes.
there to be a notification, maybe by writing or anything, before any such disconnections?
When we go out to disconnect, we usually serve disconnection notice. I know that so many customers out there will say, no, I've not received that disconnection notice and all those kind of stuff. But customers are entitled to be notified that they are going to be disconnected. And so when we get to their house,
does it happen?
It does. When we get to their houses, we we draw attention to the fact that we are present in that area. We confront the customer with the information. We have this information at our disposal. You are owing XYZ amount of money. Please, can you give us evidence to show that you are not owing? For us, the onus is on us to bring the document to show that you are owing. But if peradventure you had paid that money as at the time we were, as at the time we were visiting you, show us the document. Oh, sorry, I have paid. But what you find most of the time is that when the customer is owing you and you draw attention to yourself, nobody will even respond to you, and you are left in between. What do I do in this situation? So what you find us doing is that once the information we have at our disposal is showing that you are owing, we go up there and remove the service so that we don't allow you to continue to accumulate the debt. For us, it's even a way of helping the customer to make sure that the customer does not owe to a point where the debt is so huge and you are unable to pay.
Okay.
Now, there is one gentleman, Ibrahim from Gudu Market, who said numbers are not working. With due respect, those numbers are working. But if you say, and we must understand why he's saying that they are not working. Maybe because he didn't get a response. So many people call those lines. The lines don't rest. If they can complain, those lines will say, I beg now, make una sorry for me. Those lines don't rest, let alone the human beings who attend to them. So I can understand if he's saying that the numbers are not working.
So maybe you help explain how it works?
No, this is what happens. Those lines are reception lines, by which I mean that they take in calls, and when they take in calls, they begin to roam. They look for the subsidiary line that is free and connect to it immediately. Maybe as at the time the customer is calling, because it's a shift situation. They run shift in that office, and that's why it works for 24 hours. At least about 5 of them are there. So maybe as at that time that the customer is calling, or this particular customer, as at the time he called, those lines were engaged and he could not stay on the line for that long. But to say that they are not working is not true, and I'll tell you how. On just this Saturday here, 28th of October, a journalist confronted me and said, these your lines, what's happening to them? I said, okay, don't worry, I won't take you to the office, I will call from here. Luckily for me, the moment I called, my call was picked, and we started the conversation. I told the people at the call office, I'm a customer from Jikoi, please give us your meter number. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm calling from outside the house, I don't have my bill here. Okay, give us your telephone number. I said, that's my telephone. So I called my what's your name? I gave a name. What's your address? I gave just to test, for the journalist to know that it is not true that the lines are fake or that they are not working. So I can understand the customer's problem. There may be challenges with lines. Maybe what we need to do is to increase the number of lines that can receive call. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. But to say that they are not working, with due respect, that's not the situation.
All right, we'll go on another quick break. We'll come back and pick more calls. Stay with us right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1.
Human Rights Radio.
الله أكبر الله